So a lot's gone on. We have semi-officially sold the house. That means there is a move imminent. Now, what we ended up doing might be considered to be financially irresponsible. We decided to sell our home as is. That means that I will not be spending the next several months doing cosmetic repairs, fixing things that, are not going to pass inspection. Instead, I'm going to be able to use my time arguably more wisely on the house that we're going to be going to. But that also frees me up with a certain amount of time, because where the house is that we're going to be going to doesn't really exist yet. So, other than packing, which I can now do in earnest, I don't have to worry about keeping tools accessible. I know that I will not be doing any building projects for the next month or two. So that means I'm actually going to have a little bit more free time than I would have otherwise. What am I going to be doing? Well, I'm going to be shaving. This is a stress beard. This is the I don't trust the steadiness of my hand enough to put a blade close to my throat sort of beard. Not like the monster that I grew a couple years ago. This is just, it's laziness. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time today packing up in here, in what was my lab and became my mess. Was always a mess, but I changed the name. And it's not a foregone conclusion that I'm going to have a space like this where I'm going. A lot of the houses that we're looking at are older and don't have any outbuildings, don't have attached garages at all, and then the ones that don't have outbuildings at all, well, where is this sort of a space going to be? And I don't know the answer to that question. Based on the cost of the real estate there, I'm going to hazard a guess that I might be able to rent a space for relatively inexpensive. Relatively inexpensively. English. Yeah, it's my first language. So I'm holding in the back of my head sort of a hope that I'll be able to rent a space. I'd kind of like there to be a garage so that I could do an auto project. That's something that I want to do at least once, and I've still got a few decades to get that wrapped up. I also want to have a good compute space. I want to have a good tinker space, and I'd kind of like to be able to get into some woodworking again. Some real woodworking. I'd kind of like to build all of our furniture, if I can. Do I have the skills for that? No. Do I have the experience for that? No. Do I have the space for that? So how's that going to work? I don't know. Let's find out. Anyway, I am going to record a few videos today. I'm going to hopefully make a little bit of progress. And then I'm going to start posting daily for the foreseeable future. Kind of as a rolling update. And also as kind of a farewell to the town that I've spent the better part of, 3 decades in. We were completely unacquainted. I grew to become dependent on the town. We were vital parts of each other's lives for a while. And in the last, 6 years or so, we've grown apart. And I have to imagine it's like breaking up from a long-term relationship. There's a familiarity that I'm going to miss. There's a innate knowledge. There's the ability to apply a context that extends back for 3 decades. when you know what your partner's food order is going to be before they order it. That kind of thing. But also, the town has changed dramatically, maybe even drastically. The quaintness is wearing off. There isn't a whole lot of that left. It's becoming very much like a suburb, even though it's a regional center. So it's kind of locally feels a lot like when I go to visit my family, the areas that they live. It's the same chains everywhere. It's the same restaurants, the same stores, the same look, the same feel. There are still little pockets of quaint, pockets of familiarity. I'm sure that there will be nights that I wake up and feel like something is missing, feel like there's a relationship that isn't there. But this is one of those things that we have to do from time to time. We've grown apart enough that I think it's time for this town to belong to others. I need a new experience. I need a new relationship. And so does the town, I think. I don't think that it needs me here anymore. And I think it will be more sweet than bitter. So, follow along, if you will, and enjoy the little bit of documentation of my relationship with this town that I'll be posting, and kind of show you a few of the things that I grew to love and dislike and perhaps even despise about this town. And it'll serve as a record for, the kids who were born here, the kids, maybe, if YouTube is still around in another 20 years. Maybe they'll be curious to see what their crazy old grandpa was doing. Why did you move? Well, it'll all be here. And that'll give me something to do. Give me a little bit of distraction from the drudgeries of packing. I will be focusing a little bit less on editing, because that is not the kind of time I want to spend here. I don't mind talking to the camera a little bit, but I'm not really looking to spend a few hours trying to get a video to look good. You can see how much time I spend getting myself to look good. Being a natural beauty, I don't worry about it. Alright. Stick around or join me.